ਇਹ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਕੋਕਟਲਮ ਸਥਿਤ ਬਾਂਕੇ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਮੈਂਟ ਲਿਮਟਿਡ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਪਾਂਸਰਡ ਹੈ 604 931 3331 ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਨਾਮਵਰ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਇਹ ਕਾਫੀ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਫੋਕਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡਾ ਬੇਸਿਕ ਮਕਸਦ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਜੀਵਨ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਪਹਿਚਾਣ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ। Religion teaches us to be good human beings, and always the strive is to become better human beings. With this in aim, Dr. Harbans Singh Kandola is going to continue the series in English so that we can involve our youth, because ਆਮ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਪੀੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕ ਰਹੀ ਕਿ ਧਰਮ ਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਕੀ ਹੈ। What is basically the purpose of life and how religion guides us, directs us to find that goodness, that oneness which is within us. Let's welcome Dr. Harbans Singh Kandola and know from him as to how religion can guide us to become better human beings. Welcome to the program.
Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. I'm very happy to be back.
Pleasure is mine.
Discussing the spiritual path. As I was mentioning, Harpreet Ji, when we look at the 3,000, 4,000 years old history of religion, all the spiritual people desired and they searched for a peace of mind.
That's right.
That's what I found. Everybody, they searched for peace of mind. And they used different methods, different techniques, different practices, but goal was to find peace here.
That's right.
Joy, happiness. That was the goal. Now, in the 21st century, humans, we are still searching that elusive peace of mind,
that's right,
happiness and joy. Anand kheda, khushiyan khede di paal ch sari duniya firdi hegi hai. So today, the God we worship and the religion we practice, we need to see how that religion or God we worship is directing us, guiding us to achieve that peace, that goal.
Right.
So in our next 5-6 series, we will talk about some of the concepts, which will help us, hopefully, to guide us to enjoy that peace.
Right.
And before I start that topic, our basic theme will remain this one. True nature of every human being is basic goodness.
That's right.
Manatu Jod Shrup. This will be our theme of our series.
Right.
So before I come there, Harpreet Ji, I want to share something I realized, come to clarity in my mind, that religion, spirituality is a very, very personal matter. It's a very personal.
Right.
And it's a personal choice, and is a personal journey. And I need to discover the spiritual path myself,
right,
and begin that journey myself. It's
right.
a very, very personal. And I was, interestingly, because I pay attention, and I was listening to a psychologist on the radio, and she said, we provide consultation and counseling to our clients. He said 90% of that depends on them. Do they want to change?
Right.
If they don't want to change, nothing happens.
Absolutely, Dr. Saab, you're right, because unfortunately that is what has happened in the past so many decades, that we always want others to change and we don't want ourselves to change.
Exactly.
And exactly as you very rightly said, not only science now, but even religion also tells us, it gives us the guidelines, but ultimately the steps have to be taken by us.
Do it. See, I think you raised a very, very significant point, and you go to Gurdwara, you listen everything, but it's up to you.
How
you need to change.
Right.
And nobody can force
That's right.
religion, spirituality on anybody, because we cannot force anybody to change their thoughts, change their behavior, because it's involved thoughts.
Right.
Now, there is a lot of, and from this kind, what tells me, it is me have to change. What tells me that our presentation have to be simple,
right,
have to be logical, have to be relevant and practical, so that it touches people.
Right.
Give them some guideline and touches them to ask a question that I need to change. Harpiji, there's a lot of information on religion, spirituality. There are a lot of books. There are not a lot of things on the internet. But interesting part is this. I think what we were discussing it. What triggers that? What raises that question? What triggers that desire?
Right.
That quest that ask me to raise a question in my mind, what I am here for on
Right.
this earth, why I'm here,
Right.
and what is the purpose of meaning of life. And as Socrates said, unexamined life is not worth living. Unexamined life
Is not
is
worth
not worth living.
Right.
Do I raise that question in my mind?
Right.
What kind of life I am living? When that raises that question, when I am going to rise above survival, when I am going to rise above survival, all we do, Harpiji, you see around, from the morning to the evening, this is all for survival.
Right.
This is not for peace of mind, inner peace, khushiyan, kheda, anand. This is all for survival. So we need to ask a question
Right.
ourselves, says that when I'm going to rise above the routines of the daily life, I need to ask myself, I might gain prosperity through hard work, through determination, and through my smartness, but again find that it is not enough for inner peace and happiness.
Right.
And that's what is happening around. I need to ask that. I'm doing this from morning to evening.
That's right.
This is all for survival. You can get a success in the material world, but that would never be enough for inner peace.
Very
for
true, Doctor,
khushiyan,
because we
kheda,
have
ananda.
compartmentalized religion also, because we think that just doing our religious obligations, we are fine, but we don't understand that religion is a path which is guiding us to understand
Exactly.
why we are here and what is our purpose.
Yes, and this is guidance, but I have to do it.
Right.
And hopefully, from our discussion and to your listeners, we will help them to trigger that question
Right.
in them. That hopefully will trigger that desire. that
And before we
quest.
go further, I must point out over here that when you talk about the triggering of the thought, we have calls from Australia, USA, New Zealand so far, especially the Japji Sahib series which we did in English, because that's what the people are waiting for.
Yeah.
There is a lot of knowledge, no doubt about it, but something that triggers you to analyze, to start thinking, and then when you talk about the logical aspect, unfortunately, we have failed in that aspect. We do not give much importance to that logical point.
No.
And that is the reason that we are just repeating the things. And despite the glorious lives of our gurus, we are not being able to understand that what they did was. For example, in Siddh Gosht also, that's a classic example. Now, Dr. Sir, when we are discussing,
Yes.
I am just listening to you probably, but I don't want to change myself, because the point what you said, you have to change from yourself, and then only the initiation will start.
Nobody else
Now, Guru
can.
Nanak Dev Ji goes to the Siddhas and he has a good discussion with them, but nowhere does he points out that you must follow this. He just opens up and he tells, and they are so inspired by him that they say, wow.
He logically touches
That's
them.
right, absolutely.
Logically touches them.
Right.
In fact, what RPG you raised in our next 5-6 episodes,
Ji.
this is exactly what we're going to be talking
Right.
about. What is the new approach? What are we following? Where is the religion and God failed us? What is the new approach? We
Right.
will talk about this. Exactly, that is the purpose of
Right.
our discussions. As I mentioned, the theme of our next several discussions will be true nature of every human being is a basic good. Man tu jyot swarup hai. Abhijit, this is, when you look at it, it's a very huge statement. It's a very huge statement. Just soon we touches that, who I am,
Ji.
that will rise me, encourage me to rise above survival.
That's right.
Rise above daily routines of life. This will encourage me to look life a different way. Manatu Jyot Swarup hai. And Guru Pacha says here, this is who we are. I am a part of God. That's the realization we need. And this is your true self. And to realize our our true self, find who I am, recognizing the God within is the real purpose of life. That is why we are here.
Right.
That's why we are, that's the purpose of life. This is why we are here. And I am hoping, as I said, these discussions will help people to
Absolutely.
find that way.
Absolutely, you're right. Ji. Through discussions only, one can raise one's knowledge, and once knowledge is applied, then definitely life changes. We'll go for a short break. We'll come back and continue with our discussion, because there's going to be a long series where we're going to introspect, we're going to learn a lot of things, and then delve upon those things and try to bring about the change what we require. So we'll come after this short break.
ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਹੇਅਰ ਮੋਟਰਸ। ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੱਦਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਆਣ ਕੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਨਵਾਂ ਸ਼ੋਰੂਮ ਦੇਖੋ। ਸਾਡੇ ਸ਼ੋਰੂਮ ਵਰਗਾ ਸ਼ੋਰੂਮ ਇੱਥੇ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਕੋ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੋ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ। ਇਹ ਇੰਨਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਸ਼ੋਰੂਮ ਆ ਕਿ ਦੇਖਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਣ ਕੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਫਾਈਨਾਂਸ ਦੀ ਸਲਾਹ ਲੈਣੀ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਫਾਈਨਾਂਸ ਕਰਨਾ, ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਆਓ। ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਅਦਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ ਘੱਟ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਰੇਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ 1 ਘੰਟੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪ੍ਰੂਵ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੱਡੀ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਭੇਜਾਂਗੇ।
ਇਹ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਕੋਕਟਲਮ ਸਥਿਤ ਬਾਂਕੇ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਮੈਂਟ ਲਿਮਟਿਡ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਪਾਂਸਰਡ ਹੈ। 604 931 3331। ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ। ਸਾਥ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਤੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਮਨ ਤੋਂ ਜੋਤ ਸਰੂਪ ਹੈ ਆਪਣਾ ਮੂਲ ਪਛਾਣ। ਇਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਾਰੀ ਤੁਕ ਸੁਣਨੇ ਆ, ਪਰ ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਸਕ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ? ਇਹ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਏ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਪੀੜ੍ਹੀ ਤੇ ਨਾਨ ਸਿੱਖਸ ਐਂਡ ਈਵਨ ਸਿੱਖ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਨ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਸਮਝ ਸਕਣ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਥਾਹ ਸਮੁੰਦਰ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੀਵਨ ਜਾਂਚ ਕੀ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਇਹ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਜੋ ਕਰਨੀ ਪਏਗੀ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨੀ ਪਏਗੀ। ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਦੀ ਇਨੇਟ ਗੁੱਡਨੈਸ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਅੰਦਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਚੰਗਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਮੱਸਿਆਵਾਂ ਵੱਧ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਪਰਿਸਥਿਤੀਆਂ ਬਦਲ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਭਾਰੂ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕੁਝ ਦੇਰ ਲਈ ਇਨਸਪਾਇਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਰੋਜ਼ਮਰਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਨਕਾਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਮੰਦਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੱਥਾ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਟੇਕਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਕੀ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦਾ, ਕੀ ਇਹ ਸਮਝ ਸਕ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ? ਇਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਮੁੱਖ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੁੜ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਤੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੀ। ਜੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ।
Harbans, as we were discussing, that realization that who I am could change my life.
Right.
Just touch that, soon it touches me to change their lives. I must say, Harbans, to prepare these episodes, as I mentioned that I was home for 2 months, so that gave me a chance to read several books and listen to. And to prepare these episodes, which I thought should be very relevant, and obviously I refer to the spiritual philosophy of Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Ji.
And I have read several books of scholars on religion and spirituality. Harbans, I have listened to hundreds of hours of debates on what is God, what is religion, what is spirituality.
Ji.
And I have read and I have listened to the atheist view,
Okay.
life without God, and I have read that. And I have read I have spent hundreds and hours on these, because each line you have to see what it means.
Right.
You know? And other literature, well, I will discuss in detail, Harbans, as you mentioned, the God of 21st century, the religion of postmodern human man, in the context of the spiritual philosophy of Guru Nanak. We will also discuss how and why, as we mentioned in the start, the God we worship today, the religion we practice today, for thousands of years we've been practicing, have mostly failed and is failing humanity and failing the human race.
Right.
We need that discussion, frank discussion. How organized religions have failed to guide humanity find meaning of life and realize our true self, live in peace and harmony. And what in contrast to that, Harbans, what we're witnessing today in most or every religion is the rise of fundamentalism.
Ji.
Instead of guiding us to find our true self,
Right.
find that peace, find that happiness find that khushiyan kheda anand, what we witness is the rise of fundamentalism.
Right.
In rise of fundamentalism in almost every religion. Fundamentalism, our path is the only path. And that's what's happening in the world today.
Right.
And everybody else is non-believer.
Yeah.
And believe that either they be converted or they be destroyed.
Right.
And that is kind of attitude, religious, organized religion attitude is taking us in those kind of directions. Or there's a rise of militant atheism because the religion, the God we worship have failed to guide us in that direction to find that peace, and there's a rise of atheism.
Right.
And atheism, what they're saying, religion is the main cause of modern problem.
Right.
Main cause of the world problem.
Because the kind of religion which is being projected.
Exactly.
That is, otherwise religion is not that
No.
what is being projected.
But what is being preached,
Right.
Does it relevant?
Absolutely.
Does it guide us?
Right.
They are raising questions.
Right.
And then they say, religion must be totally abolished, and there is a secularism. And I believe that, as in the context of spiritual philosophy of Guru Nanak, we will discuss that in quite detail.
Right.
Critical analysis of what is God we worship and what is the religion we practice, what it means in our daily life.
Right.
And this is the need of the time. We will hopefully in the next many episodes, we will present that. Yes, we need religion, we need God, but what kind of
religion, what kind of preaching?
Kind of God?
Right.
And Harpreet, I might mention here that historically when I was reading, a question came time and again from spiritual scholars that this religion, organized religion, is locked in a corner. They fail to present a viable proposal.
Right.
They fail to a viable proposal, viable concept of God, viable concepts of religion.
Right.
This is what I'm saying, that yes, there is a viable proposal. There's a viable concept of religion, and this is what we will actually present. And world does not know the philosophy of Baba Nanak.
Absolutely. Probably everything else has changed, but the concept of God, which was existing in the 15th century or thousands of years ago, is still the same. That there's one, element sitting at in the heaven and guiding us, and that's what is being projected. But now the youngsters are not ready for this because they want answers.
Simply just to walk
and especially
away.
when it comes to Sikhism, Dr. Saab, well, every religion, whatever they believe, they are welcome to believe. But in Sikhism, when illogical things are projected, and whereas on the other hand we say Sikhism is a very scientific religion, that doesn't corroborate.
We say that.
We just say
but
that.
What we present
is absolutely
we
different.
will talk about that. And this is hopefully, this is the critical analysis on your show.
Right.
We will present to your audience. How did we know? This is a very, very interesting point. We know that human intellects have advanced from traveling on the bullock cart to spacecraft and landed on the moon.
Right.
Intelligently, we have achieved that. But unfortunately, from human well-being, from spiritual awakening, we are living in the primitive ways of first century, as you mentioned.
Right.
This hasn't changed. That's a very interesting question.
Oh, yes.
Intellectually, this is what we have achieved, success, scientifically, technologically, everything. But what about the human well-being?
That's right.
What about our peace? What about where are we? We are still living in the first century. Our religious thinking, as you mentioned, the concept of God, our belief system that is thousands of years old have not changed. You mentioned that. That has not changed. That's a very interesting point. Why it hasn't changed? What the organized religion is presenting to the youth, presenting to the world. That's what we talk about. I must say the God that is the product of human ignorance, human fear, weakness, desire, and superstitions. And we are still worshipping that God. We are still we are still worshiping that God or practicing that religion, be seeking safety, security, protection, salvation in that supernatural deity. And Harbans, we will discuss how, as a human race, we can walk away from the God of ignorance and God of fear.
Right.
And to God of knowledge, God of wisdom, religion of intellect.
Absolutely. That's a very important point also which you have touched, but unfortunately time doesn't permit, and we'll continue our discussion in our next episode. But what you have said towards the end, that God of ignorance, God of fear, it is not existing, but the elements which exist have created
But
that.
we're still worshipping
Oh
that.
yes, absolutely. Because that is the fear which is being put into the minds of the people.
Exactly.
That if you do not do this,
Very
this will
interesting.
happen. If you
Very-
don't do this, that will
very
happen.
interesting.
Thank you very much for your perspective. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ,
ਖਾਲਸਾ,
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ ਹੈ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਵੀਂ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਮਨ ਕੀ ਜੋਤ ਸਰੂਪ ਹੈ, ਆਪਣਾ ਮੂਲ ਪਛਾਣ। ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਚੰਗਿਆਈ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਚੰਗਿਆਈ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਰਾਸ਼ਣਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਵੇਂ ਉਸ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਇਹੀ ਧਰਮ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਅਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦਿਖਾਓ। youtube.com/harpreet-singh show 'ਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਕੋਈ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੋਣ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਕਰਨੀ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵਾਪਸ ਆ ਸਕੀਏ। ਅਗੇਨ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਇਨਪੁਟ ਬਹੁਤ ਲਾਹੇਵੰਦ ਰਹੇਗੀ। ਸੋ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਦਾ ਆਨਸਰ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਵਾਪਸ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਸਕਨੇ ਹਾਂ। ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਤਾਂ 604 603 7555 ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਈਮੇਲ ਜ਼ਰੀਏ harpreet-singh@gmail.com ਤੇ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ। ਫਿਰ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਗੁੱਡ ਬਾਏ।